Let's get going. So to start with, we want those legs out slightly wider than hip width apart, arms out wide as well. And we're just going to start with some simple circles of those arms, trying not to sway the whole body, just moving those arms around as slightly bigger than dinner plate size. Good. And then on the next two, we're going to take those hands down behind the hips and stretch back for a chest stretch. Okay, so if you can link your fingers, go ahead and reach behind. Let the ribs pop forward a little. Open up those collarbones. Otherwise, just reach back. And release. Then we go hands back wide, thumbs down this time, circles again. Good, just priming those shoulder muscles. We are doing some weight bearing on our arms later in the class, so it's good to have them a little bit warmed up before we do so. 3, 2, 1. Then hands forward, knuckles or palms forward. Drop the head between your arms and stretch. Stretch it forwards. Bend from the hips. And then just reach to your right. And through the center, reach to the left. Good, back to center. Release those hands and relax. Now we're going to bend the elbows like you're holding a serving tray, okay? But extra exaggerated posture, so pulling those shoulder blades back. And from here, you're just going to open those arms and reach to the side. Palms turned down, palms back up, elbows in, and hold. Open, reach, palms down, palms up, elbows in, hands together. So that's all it is, really simple. This is called the Cleopatra. So we're just taking some dinner plates on our hands. We're going to open, serve them to the side, then tip them out over and come back down. And this is really good for rotator cuff, really good for getting the arm bone moving in the shoulder joint. Keep going, reach out, flip the hands and back in. Last one. And come on down. I'm going to get you to pop hands on hips and hold into a squat position. So what we need with that squat is sitting on a chair so that your hip bones go behind your heels. Good. And then from there, we're just going hands forwards in front of the body, coming down lower in that squat, and pulse for me. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now stay in your squat, but you can go higher if you need to. Hands come back on those hips. This time we're going to pretend we're riding a scooter. So shift your weight onto your right leg, tap the left foot behind and return. Slide back, tap and return. Slide back, tap, return. So we're doing all the weight, all the load bearing on your right leg. Bit of balance work, of course. Still sitting low. And 3 and 2. And on the last one, tap back, hold. This is for balance now. Hands reach to the front. We're going to lift the foot off the back and fall into a hold. So legs and arms are reaching in opposite directions. Try to balance and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the foot back down, arms back in. We swap to the other side. So load bearing on the left leg now, hands on hips, scooter kicks to the right foot back. Slide and tap behind, return. Tap behind, return. So lots of strength work on that left leg. It's really good for balance, of course, as well. Make sure you are breathing. Keep working for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And take that foot back and hold it. Hands reach forwards. Then we're going to lift the foot off behind, straighten the front knee a little bit, balance. Hold as wherever you can, okay? The foot's in the air and the arms are out in front. Breathe, hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, foot down, arms in, and straighten those legs. Wiggle, wiggle if you need to. Excellent job. Now, something a little bit easier. Legs out wide again. I want you to stretch it over the knee to one side, hand on the straight leg, side bend, and stretch out through the side muscles. Then hold here, but turn the chest down, reach both hands towards the foot, just to wherever you can get. And release, come back up. We do the other side. So bend your other knee, hand on the straight leg, other arm over. And then turn the chest down, reach both hands towards the foot. Excellent stretch. Reverse that, come back up. Little shoulder roll. Going to turn the knees out to go the same direction as your toes. Down into that sumo squat position. I want you to hold here for some pulses again, checking the knees are going the same direction as those toes are pointing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, and we've got those heel raises next. So lift one heel and lower, second heel lift, lower. Really bending through the balls of the feet there. Good, last 2. Last 1. And straighten those knees. Turn your feet forwards again. We're just going to do some side step, side tap. We're going to slow it right down because I need you to balance again on one leg. When you're ready, I'll demo first. Tap, in, kick, in. Step, tap, lift, tap. Step, tap, lift, tap. Join me now if you can. So it's a lift, tap, step across. Lift, tap, step across. Good. With those side kicks, just as high as you can, but keeping the torso straight. So I don't want to see your whole body kind of rocking down as you lift the leg. I know you can't see me very well entirely, but just follow those legs. Almost done. We've done a lot of standing repertoire this morning. One more. And legs wide. I'm going to turn around just so you can see a little clearly. We want the right leg to wrap behind the left. Stick the right hip out by bending the left knee, the knee in front. Poke it out as far as you feel you can comfortably go. Then the right hand up and over the body, over the head. Trying to just stretch through the side muscles of that hip. And let it go. Left leg now, behind the right. Bend that front knee, poke your left hip to the side, and left arm up and over. And release, release, release. Well done. I'm going to get you to come straight down to sitting this morning. So just come down onto your mat, however works for you. Excellent. And then, just to throw you off, I was sitting cross-legged, but I'm going to get you to pop your feet forwards. And sit up nice and tall. Hands forward. So with this, we want exaggerated posture. We want the crown of the head elevating towards the ceiling as if a helium balloon is pulling you up tall. I want those shoulder blades pulled directly back towards each other in a comfortable place, so we don't want them shrugging up. And then we just want your lower back to be almost stacked on one another, those vertebrae up nice and tall. So we're not rounded and reclined. Then from here, we're going to take a breath in and then breathe out. We tuck the tail and go into our reclined position, but the chest stays elevated. Breathe in, return up on those tailbones. Breathe out, tuck, roll back. Breathe in and lift. Again, tuck, just using those deep tummy muscles, pulling up through the pelvic floor and recline back and up tall. Again, breathe out, roll back. Breathe in, up. Last one. And up. Hands go behind. Open the chest. If you can, push heavy onto those feet. Lift your hips towards the ceiling. Go as far as you feel comfortable. If you're not able to, just pop the chest out. Hold, hold, hold. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips back down. Hands to the front. We're adding in rotation on this one. You know this one. We breathe into set. Breathe out, roll back. Reach one hand behind. Return to center, sit tall. Other side, roll back, reach the other arm. And back to center, sit tall. Keep returning each side, alternating those reaches. If that's a little heavy for you, or it doesn't feel comfortable, or you're not well controlled, you can just reach an elbow behind rather than a full twist. Just recline back, tuck the elbow beside you, and return back up. You don't have to turn the body at all. But if you are, keep going. You're doing a great job. Last 2. And last 1. And up tall. Again, hands behind for another reverse plank. Pop the chest, meaning those shoulders reach back first, then lift those hips till however you can get, and hold. This is really fantastic strength work for our posterior chain, which is the muscles down the back of the body. Good for posture, naturally. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hips back down, hands back forward, but this time legs out straight. So we are still doing those rock backs. I'll demo the first one. So we go all the way into our reclined position. Now don't go too far so that the feet nearly lift off. We're then going to do an arm raise, arm wide, arms up, arms forward and pull up. Rightio, join me now. Breathe into set. Breathe out, tuck and reach. Then arms up, arms wide, arms up, arms forward, pull up tall. Again, tuck the tail, strong tummy now, arms up, arms out, arms up, arms forward, reach up, sit tall. One more, reach back, arms up, arms wide, arms up, and forward. Now at the top, breathe in again, lift those ribs extra high, forwards fold towards the toes, tuck your head, grab onto your shins, ankles, feet, whatever you can get. Hold there, gently melting into that stretch. And release, just standing, sitting up tall again. Shoulders back. We're going to go into a full roll down, so just make sure you've got plenty of room behind you. And then we're going to sit tall with those arms up to set. This is where we set. We breathe in, lift those ribs a little more. And breathe out, tuck the tail. Now really slowly rolling down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once the shoulders hit the floor, we then reach those hands up overhead. Long stretch. We're going back up to sitting. So from here, breathe in. On the breath out, lift the arms, lift the head, roll up to sit. Nice and tall at the top. Lift the ribs and then forward stretch. Breathe out again. Hold those legs. Pull yourself in. And release. We're going again. We breathe in, sit tall to set. Breathe out, tuck and roll down. Long stretch at the bottom, arms reach overhead. We are going up again when you're ready. Just breathing out as you lift the hands and the head. Use a bit of momentum if you need to. Up tall and then fold forwards again. Last stretch here. We have one more roll down. We get to stay down at the bottom. All right, let's go. Sitting tall to set, breathe in. And again, breathe out, tuck the tail. Lower back hits the floor, middle back, upper back, shoulders and arms reach over. You just relax there for a minute or not a minute, but just a few seconds. And then we're going to move those arms back in next to the body, a bit more comfortable by your side. From here, we walk the feet up as well. And we're just going to start really simple with some pelvic tilts, okay? So just rocking the pelvis forwards and backwards to flatten the back and arch the back into and off the mat. If you have a bucket on your hips, rocking the pelvis will tip water out the front and the back of your bucket. As you do this, try to get as big a range of movement as you can. You will be using your bum muscles a bit to tilt the pelvis backwards, but you should be definitely using some tummy muscles as well. See if you can engage those tummy muscles to help. Now find that midpoint between the two. So find your natural curve or your neutral spine position. I want you to hold there, then lift one knee to tabletop. Second knee to tabletop. And you should still have your neutral spine position underneath. If you do struggle a little bit, use your fingertips to support your legs up in that position. We want shins roughly parallel with the floor. Then hands relax by your side unless you do need them for support. We're going to go straight into a one leg stretch. So breathe in to set, breathe out, stretch the leg out straight and return in. Kick the other leg straight and return in. Now you've been doing this long enough with me to know you can kick higher or lower depending on what your capacity is. So again, higher the kick means you use your thigh muscles more, which is great for knee health and strength of those muscles. But you do need good hamstring length to get the leg straight. If that's so much of a struggle for you, kick further away from the body, like you're pointing and pressing on a button on the wall. And the lower you go, even further down towards the floor with those stretches, lots more heavy load for the core. So more work. If you want the challenge, kick the legs down low. Breathe. Lower back still in neutral. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees in close to the tummy so your muscles can relax. Strong start. Well done. Next one. It's actually exactly the same. So those single leg, one leg stretches, okay? However, I'm going to make you do a double arm reach overhead at the same time. So what that does is it means that we're trying to separate the limbs away from one another, and the core then has to work doubly as hard to control what's going on through your middle. So tabletop knees, hands up over the chest to start. Breathe in, neutral spine set. Breathe out, leg kick, double arm reach. Return, breathe in. Other leg stretch, arms reach, return. Breathe out, leg stretch, arms reach, breathe in, return. So take your time. Again, kick those legs higher if it's a bit of a challenge, lower if you want a bigger challenge. Arms can go just overhead as far as is comfortable, or if it's far too much for you, that's okay. Just pop those hands on those legs and just do one leg stretch without the arms. Keep breathing. Check that your back still holds in that natural neutral spine position. Doing really well. We're not here for much longer. This is our 3 and our 2 and our 1. And feet to the floor, knees together, and just a little rock side to side. Good active recovery. And you know me, I like to throw harder ones on top of harder ones. So we're going to our finale for this sequence. I'll demo before you come join me. It's a single leg stretch. However, we're going to do it in an abdo prep or crunch position. So you get to hug one knee close to the chest as the other one stretches out, and then we just switch. Okay, so in some form, it's easier because you're using your arms to help hold you up, but it is harder because we're actually in a flexion position using more of those core muscles. If you can't do that because of your neck with the head lift, you can leave the head down but still do the hug and the kick. Does that make sense? So let's go tabletop first. Then lift the head and shoulders and hug your hands over one knee. You can pull the leg in close to you to help lift your chest off the floor. Then other leg kick out, breathe in, switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. So keep going with those legs. Try to fully straighten those knees. If that's too much on your neck, if you feel you're straining, then you can rest your head back to the floor. Keep going just with the arms and legs. Keep breathing, keep moving those legs. And for those who are really fit, we're going to up that tempo. So going switch and switch and switch and switch. Don't have to though. You can always slow down or have a breather. You've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees, head down, and feet to the floor. Have a breather. Got that heart rate up a little bit. Doing well. Okay. Moving straight into bridging now, totally different muscle group. So feet close to the backside, but not too close that it's uncomfortable. We want to hold those knees together for the first round, arms beside you or across the chest. Breathe in to set. Breathe out, just lift your hips towards the ceiling. Breathe in at the top, hold. And breathe out, roll down slowly, segment by segment. Tailbone relaxes at the bottom. Knees together, let's go again. Breathe out as you lift up. Try to really squeeze together and up. And breathe out, roll back down. Same again. Breathing out anytime you move through the spine for this one. Breathe in at the top and the bottom. Knees squeeze together, hips squeeze up. Again. Excellent, and again. And down. And we have one more. And back down. Moving really quickly into some pure power work. So legs are together still, or feet together anyway. We're then going into tabletop with one leg. The other one does all the work here. So hands beside you if you need some balance support. Cross the chest if you don't. We're going to rely a lot on this weight-bearing leg radio. So breathe in to set, breathe out, lift, hold. Then I want you to pulse at the top. So just halfway down, lift, halfway down, lift, halfway down, lift. It's a lot of strength work. Keep trying to drive the foot into the mat to get those hips up, and 3, 2, 1, and hold at the top. Swap legs. Good. Balance and pulse. Down, up, up, up. Again, drive the foot down. Squish it into the mat to get the hips going. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then both feet to the floor and roll back down. Well done. You should definitely feel the muscles activating after that one. Now we're going into a march. So we get to the top and we're just going to lift alternating legs. Okay, so breathe into set, legs together, breathe out, lift into bridge. Hold those hips high, then right leg up and down, left leg up and down. You can do a straight leg kick if you prefer. Doesn't matter. What we're focusing on is just shifting our weight side to side, but keeping the pelvis stable. So we don't want to see the hips rocking and rolling as you swap legs. Hips are high and stable. Keep breathing. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Both feet down, hold, breathe in. Breathe out really slowly now. Roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, particularly at that lower back. It's the stiffest part. And relax once the tails hit the floor. Really nice work. Really nice work. So a quick hip stretch now. Left leg, hug the knee in towards the chest. Give it a little roll around. Excuse me. Then that left ankle is going to go across the right knee, and you're going to bring both legs up off the floor and hug towards you. Hands wherever. I can hold on anywhere. And release that. Just a short stretch. Right knee now tucks in. Roll the knee around. Good. Cross the ankle over the knee and bring those legs out. Give them another hug in close. And release. Both feet back to the floor. Doing really well. Excuse me. All right, we do have one more exercise for our lateral stability work. It's only a short one. You guys blitz it. So now it's just one leg at a time. The other one stays where it is, foot on the floor. So any leg to start with, check on that neutral spine position. Try to maintain that, of course. Then pick a leg, kick it up tall if you can to the ceiling. Then from here, it's a circle, starting really small so that nothing else moves. So we squeeze the thigh to get the knee straight as you can. If the foot's not directly up, it can be slightly down. That's okay, but it is heavier if it goes low. Then keeping your bent knee, your non-moving leg, as still as possible. Keeping your lower back in neutral and as still as possible. And those shoulders relaxed. Now starting to build those circles bigger. Still keeping everything else where it should be. Bigger circles, slower circles. Try to get to the size of a bicycle tire, whether it's a child's one or an adult's one, you can choose. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, up to the top, then bend the knee. We swap to the other side. So legs straight, squeeze that thigh. Start with those small circles. Again, neutral spine, shoulders relaxed, non-moving, bent knee. Breathe. Some of these exercises look very simple, but there's always a lot to think about. Those circles are starting to build now, just getting slightly bigger. Let's take it slow, work as big as you can, but keeping things under control. So if you get to a point where things are wobbling, then just stay there or even go back to a smaller movement. And working through those big circles now. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And leg back down. I'm going to get you to roll up from here. So I want you to have those legs out straight, arms up overhead, long stretch, big breath in. On the breath out, arms and head and everything else rolling up. And then from here, we're going to pull those feet in, the butterfly stretch. So it's those feet together and knees drop out. Now you can sit up nice and tall, pull yourself forward like you're peering over the edge of a cliff, or you can just slouch, but push some pressure onto your legs with your elbows. Either or does stretch the same muscle groups, but just in a different way, different angle. Okay, let's release. Knees together, feet to one side and onto your elbow. You probably know what's coming. We've got side planks. Okay, so we want to have those knees stacked, but the most important thing is this shoulder that we're leaning on. You don't want to kind of let it slouch and pop out anyway. It needs to be nice and tucked in the joint where it is most strong. So from here, we're going to hop the hand on the hip and we're going to lift the hips off the floor and push forward. Then back and back down. Adjust if you need to. Lift the hips and push forward and back and down. Again, lift, push, back and down. Lift, push, back and down. This is a good, great work for glute strength as well as obliques. And again, we've got one more. We're going to stay at the top. Lift, hold. Lots of shoulder strength required. Feet are together. We're going to clam. So open and close if you can. Lift and lower. If you can imagine a small candle under your hip there on the floor, stay away from the flame. Okay, hips are up. Nearly done for 3 more clams. 1, 2, and 3. Hips down. Squash the candle and lay all the way down onto your floor. So onto your outstretched arm, or if you brought a cushion, you can lay on a cushion, or you can be a 90s girl like me with your head on your hand. All right, feet are still together. I wasn't born in the 90s, but it looks like I was growing up in the 90s. Let's go for our level 3 clams here. So we've got feet off the floor, but don't let your pelvis roll forwards. Keep that open at the front. Open the knees, then kick tall. Feet together, knees down. Open and kick. Feet down, knees down. Again, trying not to roll the whole body, just moving the legs. Excellent. Last one. Open, kick, and down. We're going to take both legs out straight. Hand on the floor to help support you. Remembering to try and lift your waist a little bit. So if you're laying down, just to lift that underside waist. So there's a bit of paper that could slide through there. There's enough room for that. If you're up here, you definitely need to work hard to get the core tucked in enough to hold that waist up. Legs are now going to lift off the floor together. So you still got the waist off the ground and the legs both off the ground as well. From here now we go top leg up, bottom leg up, bottom leg down, top leg down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. And last one, hold, hover and hold those legs still off the ground. Your waist is still off the ground. Hand is up. We're going to go overhead, then reach, lift the head and hand towards the ankles. Head back down, arm over, and lift and reach. Up and over, then reach. Last one over, and reach. Hand and head down, and feet to the floor. Tuck those knees in again, hands to the front as well. I'm going to do those rotation stretches. So whenever you're ready, just breathe in, open up and drop the elbow behind first. Get as far as is comfortable. Then you can stretch the arm out straight. And back around to the front. Slide your hand forwards first, then from there, up and over. Drop behind. And back to the front. One more the same. and back to the front. Then we're going to press up into side sitting for mermaid stretch. Rightio. Let's go the hard side first. So holding on to your ankle, reach over the feet. Legs can be like mine, or they can be still stacked. That's okay. Whatever's comfortable for you, if any. Then we go out onto the elbow, go the other side, stretch over. Now, these stretches do improve flexibility over time, but it's more just a sort of release, a deload of the muscles that we've just loaded. Come back up. That back foot comes over the front knee. Give it a hug. So you feel a stretch in the hip. And then twist if you need to add that extra. Very good. Moving on. Let's unravel. Go the other side now. So we start with the side plank. So we want those knees together and onto our elbow. Good. Now remember, from here, it's all about the shoulder. Get it as comfortable as it can be under the head there, supported, not dropped forward. Let's go hand on hip. We breathe in, lift off the ground, push forward, then back and down. Hips up and push, and back and down. Lift and down. Again. And down. Need a different color mat, don't I? Very blended in with the black. Let's go one more up and down. Now on the last one, this is the last because we're up and holding. From here, adding in some clams. So open and close those knees. Again. Good. Try to work a little longer. Do whatever you can do to keep those hips in the air. And one more clam. Good. Then rest down and lay all the way down on your side. Get comfy there. Just lost my... There we go. Okay. So again, however's comfy, like you did on the other side. Start with those level 3 clams. So feet are off the floor. Try not to roll the hips forward though. Open knees and kick to the ceiling. Feet down, knees down. Open, kick, and back down. Open and kick. Good. Pelvis isn't moving. Got that little space under the under waist, underside waist. Last one. Legs back down, legs out straight. Again, check for a bit of space, for a piece of paper to slide under your waist there. Head can be wherever is comfortable. Double leg lift. Hands here if you need it for balance support or on the hip. I didn't mention that last time, I'm sorry. Then top leg up, bottom leg up, bottom leg down, top leg down. Lift, lift, lower, lower, top, bottom, bottom, top. Space under your waist. Sorry, as you still go with those legs. Lift, lift, lower, lower, last one, up, up, down, down. Now hold those legs just off the mat, okay? They don't move, they're just up off the floor. Now the hand on top goes overhead stretch, then lift and reach to the ankles and back down and up and lift. Good. Use your bottom arm to press if you need that extra help to get off the ground and down. Legs are still hovering off the mat. We've got one more here. And up and down. Legs return to the floor and arm down. Bring those knees in, hands to the front. Easy one now. Those rotation stretches. When you're ready, breathe in. Drop the elbow back and stretch the arm out. You can still keep your knees together if you can. If you want more of a stretch, the top knee can drop onto the floor in front, hands to the front. And again, reaching forwards, then pull up and roll back. Back to the front. One more time at your pace and stretch. Back to the front. Excellent. Now again, we press up to that side sitting position for our mermaids on the other side. Again, deloading all those great muscles you've just worked. So legs, however is comfortable, okay? We're going to over the feet first. And down onto your elbow, other side. So letting the underarm, the rib cage, the obliques lift towards the ceiling. And come back up. Nearly there, ladies. We're going to go onto hands and knees now. All right, so this is where the weight bearing comes in for those shoulders. The stronger our shoulders, the better our wrists, unless you have got actual injuries there. If you do struggle on your wrists, let me know. Come onto your elbows or roll the back, the top of your mat up so your palms can go on the mat and your fingers on the floor. It just takes away that real acute angle at the wrist. So if you're up here on hands, they're in front of the shoulders a little bit. Those knees are under the hips. And I want you to go just a couple of times from cat to cow, cat and cow, arching and curling the back. Find your neutral and then just come into that cat stretch a bit. So we're just rounding the spine a little to the ceiling, almost like you're pulling that pubic bone towards the belly button. Just tuck my shirt in a bit. So that's my neutral. I'm going to bring my pubic bone towards the belly button. So I'm just rounding the back a little bit. Then from there, tuck the toes and lift to hover your knees off the ground. Press the chest away from the floor and breathe and hold. You got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down. Well done. Let me show you the next one while you guys have a rest. We're lifting those knees. We're doing some tap, foot tap, alternating sides. As you do, I do not want to see your pelvis and lower body kind of rocking and rolling all over the place. We're aiming for 6. That's 3 on each leg. Let's go. Into position. Strong arms, so push that floor away from you. Round the back just a little bit. Then lift and hover the knees. Breathe and tap one leg out. Return. Second leg tap. Return. 3, 4, 5, 6. Well done. Knees down, knees apart. Sink back to child's pose. Have a breather. Just come out of that and I'll quickly demo for you what we're doing last. This is a really good power finish for our class. So hands again slightly forwards, further than last time. We still start in that knee hover position. We're going to push into a full plank. So you do want to really straighten from the knees bent out, but the hands should just finish up under the chest. Okay, that's what we're doing now. So from this position, walk your hands slightly forward. Then knees come up, hover. Make sure you're breathing. Then I want you to straighten out the body so the chest comes over your hands. Hips are still low. Push the chest away from the floor. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, and return. Excellent job. Guess what? You're going to hate me, but we're going to do a combo of all of those exercises. I will demonstrate first. You can come up and just have a rest to watch, okay? So starting off with the knee hover. We hold, and we're going to do our taps behind. I will tell you how many as we go. I won't want to scare you just yet. Then we're going to push forward to plank. Then we're going to go into downward dog and come down all the way back to our set position. It's a bit of endurance, definitely a strength test. Do just parts. If you can't do it all, have a rest anytime. So starting with those hands forward to the shoulders, tuck the toes, round the back a little bit, and then lift a knee, hover, hold, breathe. Make sure you do breathe. Check on that chest position. It's pushing away from the floor. Now we go for our taps. Tap, return, tap, return, tap, return, tap. Last two. Last one. Now try to push into plank. Adjust anything that needs adjusting. If you don't feel comfortable, move the feet away or closer. Again, hold strong through the tummy. Make sure you're breathing. And now hips up, push the hips as high as you physically can. It's great for the shoulders, getting a stretch down the backs of your legs. Hold. Well done. Bring those knees down to the floor. Excellent work. Take the pressure off those wrists. We're going to come up into high kneeling. I'll just adjust the camera. All right, so just up on those knees. That was really good. That's really high level work. Good job. You've earned your coffees after class. All right, let's go now into this position. Strong legs, of course, still. We're going to lean back a little bit. Breathe out. Breathe in, pull forward. Breathe out, lean back. Breathe in, pull forward. Breathe out, lean back. Breathe in, pull forward. Got a couple more. The reason I really like this exercise is not because it's just a really good strength exercise, but we're lengthening our muscles under load, not shortening. So it gives us mobility, flexibility, strength, and stability for our core. Last one. And hands down. Little shoulder roll. Pop one foot in front. Balance here. I want you to just drop those hips towards the floor. If it's your left foot in front, I want the right arm up. If it's your right foot in front, left arm up, just reaching directly to the ceiling above as the pelvis just inches itself closer and closer to the floor. And push up out of there. Let's swap those legs around. Then again, drop the hips and pelvis to the ground, just slowly. Other arm above. Good, and release out of that one as well. Hands on the front leg and push up to standing. Excellent, nearly done. Let's go back to our normal big overhead stretch. So breathe in, reach up and onto those toes. And breathe out, reaching down to the toes. And roll back up. We're doing that whole thing one more time. Hands up, breathe in. And breathe out, reach down. Stay in this stretch, let your head fall heavy, let your arms drop floppy. I want you to straighten both legs, then bend just the right leg. And straighten it, bend just the left knee. Straighten it, back to the right one, bend. And straighten it, bend the left. Then bend both and roll up, just like someone zipping you up into a suit. Zip, 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 and shoulder roll. Good. Palms forward, shoulders back, and just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle the ankles. You can't see mine, I'm sorry, but just wiggling those ankles. And done. That's it, we're finished. Good job.